First of all, Woody, we're currently speaking here from India. What's the process been like to get out there just to get some cricket on, get playing some cricket?
So I was tested at home in the northeast. That thankfully came back negative, which meant then a couple of days later I could fly out here to Chennai. But it wasn't your straightforward journey. We had to obviously get down to Heathrow, and then from Heathrow to Bangalore, and then from Bangalore, 8-hour bus journey across India to get to Chennai. So it was a bit of a long. I think it was 28 or 29 hours eventually to get here to Chennai. So it was a long journey from leaving the front door, but we got here in the end.
And of course, you've been in quarantine over there. I was going to ask you what you've been up to, but I did see your video on Twitter last night. Bit of boredom kicking in.
Just a little bit. We have in England we have a swim club where you have to do a few lengths for fitness and things like that. And I've missed out on that, and the lads haven't been putting much in the group, so I reminded them that there's no excuses, even in quarantine. I mean, in the last time I was in quarantine, I was thinking about building a sort of furniture fort like you do when you're a kid to relieve my boredom. But this time, the furniture doesn't quite stack up as well, so I went for the swimming in the bath option.
In all seriousness, though, you've spent a lot of time in biosecure bubbles the past year or so, and it must feel like you've never been out of it for years. What has it been like being in them over the past year?
It's up and down. Like, honestly, you're treated so well. You get to be in a 5-star hotel. You get good food, so it's not all that bad. The only hard bit is the quarantine bit, and when you haven't got the cricket on. When you're at the cricket, your mind's occupied and it sort of takes care of itself. But when you're in the room and stuff like that, or you're stuck in the bubbles with, I'm quite a sociable guy, so it's hard not to speak to anybody. But yesterday we did the 7 of us that travelled here, me, Johnny Bairstow, and a few of the staff, Collie, who's here. We did a quiz, so we all had a round each where we asked questions, and unfortunately I didn't quite win. I'm sure that probably doesn't surprise you, but and neither did Collie. So we're obviously not the brightest two in the group, but it was good to do something different, and the quiz kept occupied. Usually a lot of the lads play computer games or Call of Duty. They seem to all be into. Stokesy sort of is the main man, or one of the main men on that. So just trying to pass the time and keep yourself occupied. There's only so much Netflix you can do. We had a watt bike in the room to try and keep our fitness going. They've sent a couple of weights here, so I've got that, and I use an app on my phone just to do something in the room. Lying towels on the floor is my workout mat.
I suppose one benefit of being a part of this biosecure bubble is the England team are actually doing pretty all right in all formats at the minute. Must be pretty special to be part of that team at the minute.
It's fantastic. We've got a fantastic team, great depth. The one-day team has been sort of phenomenal for a good few years now, and the test team seems to have a good sort of way of playing now. We have a structured way, and a team that I hope people can sort of get behind and relate to a bit more. I think we're, young lads. There's a few young lads, but it's very relatable and very open. So I hope that people can get behind that.
On a personal note for you, being in and out the team a bit, how nice was it to get out in Sri Lanka for what was like an amazing series away win?
Yeah, it's always great when you win. It always makes it better. It was hard work. It wasn't the coolest. It was. I think it was like 30 or low 30s, but it was the humidity of being 95% plus. You'd walk outside. It was like being in a sauna. You just sweat. But great to be part of that team, especially when you win. It's class, isn't it? And for me personally, to play and put in a big effort and try and contribute to a win. And I didn't get loads of wickets, but I put in a big effort, and hopefully it helped the spinners and the other lads at the other end.
Out there in India now, what are you expecting from that tour? We saw a great first test win, struggling a bit at the minute, but excited to get out there?
Yeah, it's always hard to win in India. They're obviously a fantastic team, but the cricket that we have played, yes, it hasn't gone my way this game, but we've proved in the first test that we can hold our own here, and we know that we put in good performances. The toss has been a big factor in each of the games, so and with the next game going to be a pink ball test, I'm sure that brings our seamers into it even more, and that'll mean that we can push hard for a win in the third game.
Looking ahead at the rest of the year, obviously we've got an international back here at Emirates Riverside. How good will it be back to be playing back in Durham in front of some fans, hopefully?
The best. I mean, the World Cup playing at home, that was probably, I enjoyed that more than the final. Just because purely it was my home ground. We did well. The final was very tense and nervy, but to play in front of your home crowd, do well against New Zealand. I absolutely loved that game. To sing the national anthem in front of, your home fans. My family was there. It was very special for me. So I'm looking forward to getting back, and hopefully, if the fans are in, especially with the way the team's going, we can put on a show. And hopefully I'm in the team and they can get right behind me again.
What has it been like without fans? Because I know you took it upon yourself to be a bit of a cheerleader at one point, singing Jerusalem and stuff at the side of the pitch in Hampshire.
Yeah. Well, I got a bit of flack for that because I didn't get the words right, but I cut the whole middle bit out. I got the start and the end just to keep it brief. But I mean, the one fan that was in goal, he kept it good for a long time. So he's been my inspiration now. I'm going to have to do that by myself from now on. But it is a bit strange. It's like it takes me back to playing club cricket for Ashton, even for England. That sort of feeling where there's no noise in the ground apart from like someone shouting good shot or yes run or a couple of oohs and ahs from the slips. That's all the noise that's there. There's nothing else. So it is a bit strange, but it feels a bit club cricketish. But it definitely does give you a lift when the fans are in. It makes it extra sort of special, and can, if you're a bit down or if you need that extra boost, or you can sense it in the crowd, and then they sort of give you that extra lift, or they put pressure on the opposition. So it does make a huge difference. And even just watching this game in India, when the crowd are cheering for every run that India score, I'm sure it's a totally different experience for our lads.
Finally, anyway, Woody, 2021's a pretty big year in terms of England cricket. There's a World Cup. We've got an Ashes series sneaking in at the end. What are your hopes for the year?
Play as many games as I can. I think personally, I just want to try and get in the team and cement my spot. I know we're going to rotate people, but give it my all when I get my chance and try and make an impact. And as a team, there's some big series. India's obviously a massive series. We also play them at home, and then you've mentioned Australia as well. So I've got my eye on a few county championship games at the start of the year as well. If I'm selected for Durham, there's a few good games coming up. So if I can, every time I get the chance to play for Durham, it's always good, and I love playing for Durham. So hopefully I can get amongst the lads. I've been around for a couple of training sessions. I've seen the lads working hard. So personally, it'll be try and get a game here in India, cement my spot in the 2020 team, and then get back home, rattle a few in for Durham, and then try and get in that test team for the summer, leading into the Ashes, which is the big one, in the T20 World Cup.